Happy Tuesday!
My name's Nick.
And my name is Alan.
And welcome into the dungeon. As the brothers reach the top of the ridge, a gruesome sight meets them. The bodies of men and horses lay scattered across the shallow valley beyond, the bones picked clean by the scavenging crows. The brothers hear the gasps of horror as their men recognize the armor and tattered white uniforms of the skeletons. For they were once the brothers' countrymen, some lending guards of the king's cavalry. They must have died in battle, for the corpses of the bandit warriors lie entwined amongst them. 40 brave soldiers, nearly half of the squadron that left Homeguard 1 month ago, now lie before the Kai Lords. It is with a heavy heart that the men set about the grisly task of burial. I wonder if Captain Duval is amongst the dead.
You'll have to ask the scouts if they spotted him.
As the brothers ride away from this valley of death, they are comforted only by the knowledge that Captain Duval was not amongst those that were buried. Woohoo!
Oh, so he made it alive. That's good news, at least.
It means he's been captured and taken alive.
Well, but he's alive, so we can recapture him or save him.
We're now turning to section 120, no choices given. After many hours of riding, the lone wolves reach a highway junction. They have now left the wildlands and may once again use the Kai discipline of hunting. A large signpost indicates 2 destinations. South to Ruanon, 60 miles, and east to Eshnar, 40 miles.
We were supposed to go to Ruanon, weren't we?
Yep, so I think this is an easy one. There's no other information given about Eshnar. I mean, we can consult the map very quickly just to see if there's something we're missing. Not that there's a whole lot of detail on this map. Yeah, that takes us, way off course. South it is, I guess?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to go to Eshnar.
Neither do I, so south we go, and we turn to section 33.
It is almost dark when the brothers reach the edge of a densely forested valley. They can just make out the highway disappearing into the trees ahead and catch sight of a signpost pointing towards the south. They are now only 40 miles from Ruanon, but their men are tired and in need of food and rest. If we wish to set up camp at the edge of the forest, we turn to section 74. If we wish to send some men into the valley to scout for bandits, we turn to 139, and if we decide to go without food and sleep and press on to Ruanon as quickly as possible, we turn to 251.
Anda! The men are tired, and so am I, to be honest. We should probably stop for the night.
That makes sense to me. We were unable to stop in that tavern. We turned away, we rode for the night and through the storm, and sending off some men to search for bandits. I fear they may turn up like our companions. I think we should rest too. Set up some guards.
Men, rest up!
So we're deciding on section 74 then.
That's right. Camping at the edge of the forest.
The night passes without incident, and the lone wolves and their men awake refreshed by their sleep, restoring 1 endurance point, which fortunately we don't need. After breaking camp, the convoy enters the forested valley. The warrior instincts of Lander and Torin warn them that the highway would be the ideal place for an ambush. The densely packed trees lining the roadside could easily conceal an attacker. As a precaution against a surprise attack, Lander sends 3 of their men on ahead with orders to report back if they should sight anything at all unusual. After travelling some distance, the brothers come across the wreck of a burnt-out wagon abandoned on the side of the road. Behind it, a track disappears eastwards up to the hills. There is no sign of the scouts, who should have returned to report the abandoned wreck. This is strange, Torin. Where are our scouts? Perhaps Captain Duval has been through here too.
I fear they may have been ambushed.
It would certainly appear that way.
That wagon, it seems like a trap.
Do you not think we should search it? What if Captain Duval is inside? I mean, there's tracks as well leading to the hills. Perhaps he's been dragged off.
Even if it's not Duval, maybe our scouts are there, and they need our help. We should search the wrecked wagon.
I agree, but we should do so carefully. We're turning to section 38.
No cargo remains inside the charred shell of the wagon. The wood is black, and the metal fittings have buckled and blistered in the heat. However, in spite of the damage, the brothers find enough proof from the ashes to confirm their suspicions. This is the wreck of a summer-lending cavalry wagon, one of 3 that left for Ruanon with Captain Duval's troop over a month ago. As Landa and Torin stand in the wagon, brushing the ash from their hands, one of their men suddenly cries out in pain. Ah! They glance up, in time to see him fall from his horse, a disc of sharp steel embedded in his chest.
Ambush! Take cover!
Landa shouts as more of the deadly discs whistle out of the trees to claim their victims. Frightened horses gallop in all directions, the men desperately clinging to the reins. The hidden attackers vanish as quickly as they came, but not before 3 of the men are left dead upon the highway. After burying their dead, the brothers must decide on the best course of action, for now only 4 men remain at their side, and the hidden enemy may return at any time to finish their evil handiwork. So our convoy is now made up of 4 men and us, so 6.
Yeah, out of 50 that left with us.
Disastrous. Okay, so we have 2 options here. If we wish to continue along the highway, riding full speed for Ruanon, we turn to section 297. And if we wish to avoid the main highway and continue by the eastern track, we turn to 15.
I mean, you called it. It was an ambush.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious, but I mean, we had to check it out in case our scouts were there.
I mean, what do we do now? Do we continue on the eastern track and search for where our men are? Or do we go on to Ruanon and hopefully get some more men now that we know where this is?
But what is this eastern track? The tracks they mentioned before, that there was like tracks leading up a hill?
Yeah. It said it headed to the east. And do we check it out and search on for Captain Duval?
I don't know, the way it's written though, it says, if you wish to avoid the main highway and continue by the eastern track. Like if we're just going to, for the rest of the trip to Ruanon, go on the eastern track, avoiding the highway south straight to Ruanon. It doesn't seem like it's leading us to investigate anything, it's just to continue along.
Just gonna go back one section. Oh no, it didn't say to the east, it said to the hills.
So now that we are here, we aren't given a chance to check the tracks.
No.
I imagine it's just to carry on going to Ruanon, either directly via the south route or turning east to avoid the highway. I'd say just ride full speed for Ruanon.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, on the map, can't really see an eastern track on here. I mean, it shows half the world, which isn't particularly useful. I'd have preferred a more condensed version with more detail. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think we should ride full speed.
Okay, so section 297 it is.
It is noon before the brothers are forced to call a halt. They have reached the edge of a ridge where the highway begins a long descent towards a wide wooden bridge. This is the Ruanon Bridge. The brothers recognize its stout black timbers and the dark waters of the River Zane that flow beneath. On the far side of the bridge lie the fire-blackened ruins of an inn and the unmistakable silhouette of banded horsemen. At the entrance to the bridge is a white signpost pointing across the bridge to the south. Ruanon, 12 miles. Torin, it would be suicidal for us to attempt to cross the bridge. Look at the equipment they carry. That looks like a heavy crossbow. One shot of that and we'll be done for.
You're right, Landa. We should probably cross the river further upstream or downstream. What do you think?
Let me consult the map a second. It's of no use. There's not even a river on here. Oh wait, there is. There's a tiny squiggly line. This must be it. The River Zane. The terrain on both sides looks pretty much the same. This looks like a 50-50 to me, Torin. Thinking about it more, Torin. If we cross further to the east, and we have to swim across, we're going to be taken downstream and off course. We cross further upstream to the west, and we're swept away by the current. At least we won't be off course, although we do run the risk of being seen by the bandits.
Yeah, I agree. But if we make sure we walk quite the distance, it shouldn't be a problem.
Let's hope that that's what Joe Dever had in stock for us.
Somehow, I don't think he did.
So we're going to try and cross the river further upstream to the west by turning to section 113?
Yeah, that's right. The lone wolves enter the forest and descend the wooded hillside towards the River Zane. They have gone only a few yards when the trees become far too dense for them to be able to continue on horseback. Reluctantly, Lander signals to their men to dismount and continue on foot. They soon reach the river and follow the foam-flecked water upstream. The climb takes them through a maze of wide rock terraces worn smooth by the force of the river. Then, at a point where the torrent is fed by smaller streams, they catch sight of 6 bandits, stabbing at the water with their spears as it thunders along the smooth-hewn channels. On the far bank, they can see a pile of grey fish standing next to a horse-drawn wagon, which they recognize as a Samarlending cavalry wagon.
Are these deserters, or have they stolen the wagon?
I think they've stolen the wagon.
Well, here we haven't really got a choice, even though there's 4 different options, because it says if we've reached the Kai rank of Warnman, we turn to section 166, which we have. So the option to launch a surprise attack, to sneak across, or to head back the way we've come is strictly speaking not available to us.
Yeah, so section 166.
Lander,
Yes, Torin.
I sense that the wagon is full of sleeping bandits.
More beyond those 6 fishing.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
This is too risky. Even with my Kai sense of camouflage, there's no way I can get all of us across. We'd have to silence all 6 that are fishing. You know, if we try and get across, and they're not silenced, we're outnumbered. We'd be captured or killed.
You're right. I think we should turn back, Lander.
Incredibly agree. Men, quietly. We go back eastwards. We're not really given a choice here but to turn to section 232. The brothers and their men follow the river back towards Ruanon Bridge, taking care to stay hidden from the bandit horsemen, who now stand on guard on the bridge itself. A few hundred yards beyond, the brothers find a narrow track leading to a ramshackle boathouse. If it contains a boat, they should be able to cross the river quite easily. I think we should check that boathouse, Torin.
I don't know, Lander. Maybe the bandits are using it as a makeshift hideout.
I think we should carry on further downstream then.
This is too close to the bridge, Lander. It's risky.
I suppose. It's only a few hundred yards. They probably have eyes on it from up there. Let's continue further downstream then.
Let's go.
We had 2 choices. One was to investigate and turn to section 68. The other, which is what we have chosen, is to turn to section 130 and continue downstream to look for some other way to cross the river.
For over an hour, the brothers follow the riverbank as it wends its way into the foothills of the Macken Range. The River Seine is wide and fast-flowing. There are no signs of any bridges or fords in this direction. Shit. If we wish to return to the boathouse, we need to turn to 68, and if we wish to continue following the river towards the east, we turn to section 331.
This reminds me of those other books where we had to go into the forest.
Yeah.
Is it making us have to go to the boathouse? Or should we continue following the river east?
We keep getting further away the more east we go, but I'm committed to going east. I don't know if you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, an hour, of course, isn't too bad. Hopefully we can carry on for like another hour. And there should be like a shallower crossing somewhere.
Fingers crossed.
Is that what we're doing then? We're turning to 331?
Yeah, further east.
The brothers soon discover a partially concealed mineshaft descending vertically into the hillside. As Torin and Lander's men clear away the briars choking the shaft, they notice a ladder fixed to one side. They realize that this must be an escape shaft from the Macken mines, for they honeycomb the foothills of this mountain range. If only the brothers can locate a major tunnel, they may find a path all the way to Ruanon itself. Lander kneels at the edge and peers down into the gloom. There is such an overwhelming smell of dampness and decay that Lander decides to send their lightest man down the ladder to check whether it is still secure. All seems well, for he soon reaches a tunnel entrance far below and shouts to them all to follow. The tunnel leads to an oval-shaped, rough-hewn chamber, the floor of which is coated with a strange, silky fluid. There's 2 options here, but we have to take the first one because it says if you have the Kai discipline of animal kinship, which just in time for this book Torin does, we turn to 41, and if we did not have it, we would have had to search for an exit from the chamber. So we're turning to section 41.
Everybody be careful. The silky fluid here. It's the trail of a stoneworm.
What?
A stoneworm. A deadly dangerous subterranean predator.
Oh, not another one of those worms that attacks us in that tunnel.
Similar, but different. The fluid is highly corrosive. Do not step on it.
What is that? Did you hear that, Torin? Men, careful!
It's a stoneworm!
We've got no option here but to turn to section 276.
A hideous groan reverberates through the chamber, making everyone freeze in mid-step. With mounting horror, the brothers watch as the far wall suddenly moves towards them. A crack appears, widening to reveal a row of razor-sharp teeth. They have awoken a hungry stoneworm, and it intends to feast on the flesh. The men unsheathe their swords and prepare for combat. It is too late for them to turn and run.
Oh wow, so it's too late for them to turn and run, but we are presented with two options, which is to either stand and fight the stoneworm, or abandon the last of our men and run back up the ladder, which no doubt will tell us to go back to the bloody boathouse, so I don't think we can leave our men here to die.
No. A lot of them have already died because of our choices.
Something tells me they're going to die anyway, but I mean, I think we should stand beside them.
Yeah, at least try and save them.
Yeah, I think we're going to fight them.
Yeah, turn to 88.
A foul odour assails the brothers' nostrils, making them choke and retch. Covering their mouths and noses, they step back and raise their weapons in readiness to strike. For the creature is slithering towards them at a frightening pace. The brothers' men rain blows upon its gaping jaws, but their blades barely scratch the creature's glistening grey skin before they are snatched and swallowed whole. I called it. I called it.
Damn.
Relentlessly, the stoneworm advances until it is upon them. The brothers cannot evade it, and they must fight the creature to the death. It is immune to Mind Blast.
Shit.
Oh dear. I mean, the combat skill's not too high. It's a combat skill of 15 and an endurance of
76?
76, yeah. That's 38 doubled. We're going to have to enter this on our action charts and calculate the combat ratios. Alright, so Lander has a combat ratio of +7 and Torin has a combat ratio of +4. You want to do the first roll tonight?
I'll let you go for it.
Oh dear. Okay, here we go.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Starting strong.
The good old goose egg. A 10 on a +7. I'm expecting something spectacularly epic here. Oh yeah, baby!
Alright.
Yeah!
That's a K.
That's an insta-kill. Lander's eyes narrow as he feints to the left, but then strikes right. His Summersford moving like a shadow, silent and deadly. With a precise thrust, it finds its target, the blade sinking deep into the belly of the beast. The stoneworm splutters, shrieks, and then collapses lifeless before the brothers. Whew, first insta-kill, man.
Well, I one-hit kill one, but it wasn't an insta-kill.
Yeah, because there was one guy left, no, when we were...
No, I think I killed it because I did more damage than it had life, but it wasn't an actual insta-kill. This is a first insta-kill, as you can find it on the rolling combat table thing.
Yeah, straight up, man. That's
Awesome.
awesome.
So you take 0 hit points too, which is great.
Well, we've won the combat. We're turning to section 321.
The huge stoneworm's slimy body trembles and convulses for several minutes after dying. The brothers wait for a while before daring to squeeze past it to the chamber beyond. No trace of their men remains. The bodies lie partially digested inside the stoneworm carcass. With nausea rising in their throats, the brothers turn and flee from this terrible chamber. We need to turn to section 309. We are given no other options.
The brothers follow the tunnel for 3 hours before arriving at a great hall where several tunnels, all at different depths, meet up. A series of wide stone ramps connect each tunnel to those immediately above and below. 4 levels below them. Teams of men are pushing wagon loads of ore. Others dressed in red armor stand guard over the wagon pushers and urge them on with whips and curses. The tunnel in which the lone wolves now stand is on the highest level. They realize that the only way they can proceed is by descending the ramp to a tunnel on the lower level. But to their dismay, they notice that each of the ramps is guarded by armed men. Inching forward, Lander peers over the edge of the ramp. 2 guards are sitting near the tunnel entrance below. They are laughing and giggling and pointing at an empty wine flagon that lies at their feet. After watching them for several minutes, Lander decides that they're probably too drunk to notice them. Torin, we need to make a run for this. We've been drinking wine. Look at the flagon there. They won't notice us.
You're right, Lander. Let's go quick.
I'm going to use the Kai discipline of camouflage. Fortunately for us, we get to add 4 to the number that we roll on the random number table. So I'm guessing that the higher is better here.
It would seem so. It would be strange to actually use a Kai discipline for disadvantage.
Yeah. Is Lander rolling for this because it's his discipline, or are we doing...
Nah, I'd say you roll, and whatever you roll, because it's the camouflage discipline is what we choose.
Okay, here we go. Come on, roll high. Alright, I'll take that. That's a 9 total, with the +4. Ooh, just in the upper bracket.
So we turn to section 244. Lander and Toring manage to slip past the guards and enter the tunnel unseen. It is wide and illuminated by a line of wall torches whose guttering flames crackle and sputter noisily. They soon arrive at a junction where the tunnel narrows and divides in two. If we have the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense or Tracking, we have both of them, we have no option but to turn to section 250. So, section 250.
Yep, the other two options would have essentially had us choosing to go left or right, so hopefully this is going to tell us which way to go.
The brothers notice that the right tunnel is newly excavated, and they sense that it has yet to be completed. Rather than get caught in a dead end, they push on along the left tunnel. Again, no option but to turn to section 335.
The tunnel soon emerges into a large chamber divided by a deep mineshaft. A dark-skinned warrior in tatty leather armor stands guard at the entrance to the wooden bridge spanning the shaft. He's whittling a block of wood and grumbling to himself about how unfair it is that he's been given the most boring of duties. On the far side of the chamber, a tunnel disappears into the west wall. They know that if they are to reach the tunnel, they must get past the guard and across the bridge. We haven't got a choice here, again, because it says if we possess the Kai discipline of camouflage, which we do, we turn to section 35. The other options were if we had had the Kai discipline of mind over matter, which we do not, and the other one would have been to launch a surprise attack. So section 35 it is.
The brothers, using Lander's Kai skill of camouflage, blend into the shadows of the chamber wall, and they slowly inch their way nearer and nearer and nearer to the bridge. Suddenly, the guard puts down his block of wood and turns his back. He is rummaging in the haversack for some food. The brothers see their chance and sprint towards the bridge, their weapons poised to strike down the unwary guard. We need to now pick a number from the random number table, and if we have the Kai discipline of hunting, which we do again, or Lander has, or if we have reached the Kai rank of Guardian or higher,
Which I think we have as well.
Yeah, I imagine it's under the Warlord or whatever it was called.
Yeah, pretty sure, but I mean, we've got the discipline of hunting, so...
So we add 3 to the number that we roll. Again, probably the highest roll is the best one here. There's 2 brackets, 0 to 7 and 8 to 12. So let's see what we roll. I'd say that Lander, you roll again as you have the discipline of hunting.
Do you want to check if we've got the rank? Perhaps you can roll?
Nah, it's okay. Just go for it.
Alright.
It'll be fine.
He says, just as we roll a... 6.
So I believe we have made the higher bracket?
Yeah, with a +3, again, just by 1.
So it's a 9. We turn to section 231.
Lander's attack is swift and deadly. The guard expires before his head hits the ground. A quick search of his clothing reveals 6 gold crowns, a sword, and enough food for 2 meals. We may take whatever we wish before we cross the bridge. We must remember to make the necessary adjustments to our action chart. So let's do that now then. That's 3 crowns each.
3 crowns each, 1 meal each, and I'm gonna leave the sword there. I don't really need it.
Yeah, Lander doesn't need a sword either.
Actually, I'm gonna take the sword, just in case someone comes around and spots it. Well, I suppose they'll spot the body. Yeah, I'll take the sword anyway, because I have space for another weapon. Might as well get it.
As the lone wolves reach the far side, they hear the sound of running footsteps in the distance. They decide not to wait to see who it is, and quickly enter the tunnel into the west wall. No options here, but to turn to section 348.
Less than 50 yards along the tunnel wall, they notice a lever. Their Kai instincts make them naturally suspicious of this unusual feature, and they scour the floor looking for evidence of a trap. They find nothing, but a glance at the roof reveals the underside of a wide portcullis hidden between 2 beams. Lander pulls the lever and the portcullis falls, sealing off the tunnel behind them. To make sure they will not be followed, Toring smashes the lever with a wedge of stone before continuing along the tunnel. No options here but to turn to section 185.
The brothers are now hungry and must eat a meal, or lose 3 endurance points. However, it says that if we possess the Kai discipline of hunting, which Lander does... Oh, no. It says we are unable to use in the Macan mines to hunt for food.
Yeah.
So fortunately we both found some food on that poor guard that we killed, so we'll be able to make swift use of that. The brothers then continue along the tunnel, which runs for several miles, before eventually arriving at a long deserted gallery. We've got to turn to section 40 here, no choices.
A line of empty ore wagons lie parked along the stretch of track that disappears into the west wall of this gallery. Above the arched tunnel, a flight of wooden stairs leads to a smaller passage, lit by a sputtering torch. The brothers stay hidden in the shadows, watching the gallery for half an hour before they are satisfied that it is safe to enter. If we have the Kai discipline of tracking, and if we have reached the Kai rank of aspirant or higher, that I am sure we have, we turn to 349, and we do have tracking, right?
Yes, Lander does.
Lander does. The other options are, if you wish to follow the wagon track into the west tunnel, we turn to section 55, or if we wish to climb the stairs to the balcony and explore the passage, we turn to section 291. But as we have the discipline of tracking, and we are higher than aspirants...
Yeah, I'm just going to double check that, but pretty sure we are. Yeah, that's like 2 levels beneath us, so we're safe.
Then we need to turn to section 349.
Judging by the smoothness of the stone floor and the condition of the ore wagons, Lander deduces that this gallery must service a major section of the mines. A fresh breeze can be felt blowing out of the west tunnel, and he senses that they must be near the surface. Ruanon lies due west from here, the same direction as the ore wagon tunnel. The brothers take a deep breath and emerge from the shadows, cross the gallery, and quietly they enter the archway beyond. No options again, we're turning to section 55.
As the lone wolves make their way along the torch-lit tunnel, they pass several ore wagons bearing the same design branded upon their wooden sides. A cross moline above the initials OV. The brothers recognize the seal of Oran Vanaland, the Baron of Ruanon, and it confirms the fact that they are heading in the right direction. Suddenly, the sound of approaching footsteps begin to echo along the tunnel ahead. They become louder, accompanied now by shouting and the crack of a whip.
Torin, let's dive into one of the empty ore wagons.
Lander, getting into the wagon! It's dangerous! What if those are coming to fill it?
They belong to Oran Vanaland. Just get in, Torin. Lander's starting to sort of shimmy himself in, like he's lifting himself up, pushing down on the edge, hoisting himself into this minecart.
Let's just hide in these shadows!
And Torin is pointing towards the wall, the rough tunnel wall next to him, which he feels is a far safer hiding spot.
Alright, so we've got no consensus here. The first time in quite a while now.
Yeah.
So I think the last time was when Torin decided to jump off the horse and run off to the coast. So.
Yeah, and that didn't go well, I don't think.
No, it didn't.
But it was the right route because we needed that sword. We just couldn't get it.
Yeah. And then even if we got it.
Yeah. Let's not go. Let's not revisit that trauma.
It's all subject.
Yeah.
So anyway, the established mediation here is for both of us to roll on the table, and depending on the results, we will roleplay it out.
Let's explain why we feel like we feel, though. Because for me personally, like Torin mentioned there, I think that whatever's coming are obviously workers. And if they're mining or whatever they're doing, because they're being led with the crack of a whip, and if they're mining down here, and they've got ore, rubble, or rock, or whatever it is they're mining, they might be going to the actual minecart to dump it, and they will find us there. Or kill us with the weight of the stone.
It's possible. But Lander's thinking here that this is near the exit, so hopefully, I mean, it's not explicitly stated here, but hopefully the minecart we pick already has ore in it, and we're just going to get shipped off to Ruanon, given that these are the minecarts that belong to Baron Ruanon, Oran Vanaland, and it seems to be very close, so that's his line of thinking at the moment.
Okay, so we're rolling, and let's see.
You can go first, you haven't rolled in a while.
Okay, here goes. So the highest roll decides, right?
Yeah, we'll say 0 is a high here.
Okay, so I rolled a 6. Ooh, shit. You rolled a 3, so we're going to hide in the shadows. Oh, damn. Okay, we need to turn to section 286.
God damn it, Torin! Lander starts panicking.
It's safer here, Lander, come!
And he lets go of the cart and starts running towards...
Use your camouflage!
The brothers wait with bated breath As a line of haggard men file past their barely concealed hiding place, an escort of bandit warriors urge them forward, beating any who falter or step out of the line. Then each man is forced to take hold of a wagon and push it back along the tunnel. Soon they have all disappeared from view. The brothers wait, and when they are sure that the coast is clear, they step back into the tunnel and press on, taking care to keep well in the shadows. They finally reach a point where the tunnel emerges into daylight. To their left, a dense copse has been cut back from the entrance, and the wagon tracks lead to a timber gantry above a mound of ore. The men and the guards who passed you are now at the gantry, but they fail to see the brothers sprint from the entrance and dive into the trees. A brief pause for breath is all they allow themselves before setting off through the trees towards Ruanon.
Looks like Torin made the right choice then.
I wonder what would have happened, because they did do what you thought. They pushed the wagons to the exit.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they would have spotted us as they did.
Who knows? And talking about who knows, you're going to have to wait till next week to find out what happens in those trees as we dive into them, because that's where we're going to call it an episode. If you can't wait till next week, don't forget to visit our website www.i2td.com and follow the links there to all our good stuff, our Discord channel, our social media feeds, and all that jazz. I'm doing little jazzy hands here to Al, who hasn't realized.
Yes, yeah. Stopping the timers.
Whilst you're on our website, why not follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can make a one-off donation and then purchase a potion, which in this game we're using as rerolls. It's a way that we interact with our audience and give you lovely listeners an opportunity to be a part of the stories we tell by shaping the adventure we play.
If you cannot donate, do not worry, you can still help us out tremendously by liking all our stuff, following us on all the social media where we're at, X, YouTube, Instagram, and although we don't use it, and always join our Discord channel, you can find us there. Spread the word, review us on your podcast player of choice, and maybe leave some ratings, some stars. Anything you can do helps us tremendously, and we thank you very much for it.
Well, that brings us on to the end of the episode club.
The last ones standing.
If you're new here, what are you doing? At least go back to episode 1 of the Lone Wolves so you know what's going on. For those of you who already know, we're going to give you a password. You're going to use it, and that proves to us that you've got the most endurance points, having got through the whole episode. So do you have a password for us this week, Al?
That I do. Today's password is mind your business.
Ooh, care to explain?
Well, obviously the mine. So we were in a mine now, so that's mine. Mind your business, because the stoneworm should have minded his own business, because it was one hit kill.
Yeah,
Killed.
I like it. Nice play on words.
Yeah. So that's it. You know what to do. Use a comment. We'll keep an eye out for them.
And don't forget that you've got to submit your entry on the Last One Standing channel on the Discord server.
That's right. If you don't submit it there, it will not count.
Ooh, boo.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in and listening. We are very grateful and hope to catch you next time as we delve
Into the dungeon. On the far side of the bridge lay the fire black dew.
A hideous groan reverberates. A hideous groan reverberates. A hideous groan. Hack.
A foul odor.
Landa! The wagons!
Sorry.
I could have goddamn used it in the... Fuck you, Torin!